Hello, everybody. This is Tim Hollenden on the Tim Hollenden Show, and I'm here with my good buddy Nick Krem. Man, you guys and gals are in for a treat today. He built his freaking business in 13 countries, all 50 United States, using organic video strategies, and he is about to pour into you. This is not one of my typical agent type interviews. This guy is the bomb. I'm proud to say he's my business partner at EXP, and hang tight. We're going to a quick 20-second intro video, and we'll be right back to see what Nick has to say. Brother Nick, thank you so much. I know you're traveling for the holidays. Happy Thanksgiving early. I know you're back home in Cleveland, and it was tough for us to get together, but I appreciate you making time for me.
Absolutely, Tim. You know, when you told me you need some people for your show and you asked me to be on it, it was my pleasure to be on here. You know, I love the show that you have going here, going live 4 times already this week with your show, you know, just bringing out more and more heavy hitters. So, you know, I appreciate you thinking of me to bring me on the show.
Absolutely. Couldn't think of somebody better to talk about social media. And man, I just love pouring into real estate agents. I think we've created a lot of value today for the brand new agent, for the experienced agent alike. And I can't wait to hear what all you have to say for us to us today. But before we get started, why don't you tell your story? What's the Nick Krem journey?
Man, so, you know, I got started in real estate as every realtor's favorite job. So I was on the phones for 15 hours a day. 8 a.m. on the East Coast to 8 p.m. on the West Coast, smiling and dialing. So, you know, I like to say I was inaugurated by fire into the real estate industry. You know, so like during that time, I didn't realize, like, you name a value proposition, I pitched it. You name a brand strategy, I learned it. You name a CRM, I was in the back end of it. So I got to learn a lot about the industry pretty quickly during that time. From there, you know, I ended up beginning to manage and almost run the entire company. So at any given moment, I had about 70 to 80 clients across the nation and in different countries as well. And it was all about really lead conversion. And during that time, I realized one specific thing. Number one, I hated when clients called me and I had no idea why they were calling me. That was never a fun part of it, right? So I tried looking ahead. How can I fix these problems before they arise? And, you know, we looked at the leads that agents were getting. It was never the leads. It was never the time of day. It was never the person we had calling. It was this one thing that differentiated agents dominating the calling sector and some agents not doing so well. It was, hey, I'm calling on behalf of Nick. Who's Nick? I've never heard of you before. And I could read them their social security number. And they would still say that wasn't them who filled out the form. I could tell them, sir, you just clicked on this other home. They're like, no, that's not me. I'm like, okay. But then sometimes I would call and say, hey, I'm calling on behalf of Nick. They're like, oh, Nick. And it could be a circle dial lead. But because our brand and because our presence was so strong, they wanted to talk to us. So from there, we decided, my business partner, my brother and I decided to start our own business and how to help agents formulate a brand so that way they become well-known in their community. And that way, when they make calls, when they get their leads, that's what I realized. Having a big brand helps with lead conversion, helps with bringing leads in. It even brings leads in without even paying for pay-per-click or any ads. So we decided to help agents build brand a simple way. And notice I use the word simple, not easy.
I like that.
Easy is different for me than it is for you, than it is for the next agent, right? So a lot of our training, this is a true story, Tim. So when we would do like our social media classes and different things we were doing in our training, I would send some of my training to my grandma and say, hey, grandma, can you do this? And then she would message me back and say, well, I'm stuck here, here, and here. So I'll go back and make it a little bit simpler. So, you know, a lot of the things we did, we realized if it's not simple, agents won't do it because there's so much for agents to learn, adapt, go out there and get business. To sit down and learn social media, it's almost like an entirely different field. So we've strived to make social media and branding as simple as possible, which is why I believe we've been able to build our business so quickly across the U.S.
Yeah, that's impressive, man. 13 countries.
Yeah, 13 countries, you know, and that's where it's just having high level partnerships with people such as you, Tim, you know, that they have partnerships in other places. When an agent asks who is the best and easiest person to go with, everyone's always like, got to go with Nick because he'll make it as simple as possible. I think a big part of this, which I think you can attest to, Tim, is we don't have an email responder if you have questions of like, oh, you got email our supports and you'll get an email back 3 days later. And it almost confuses you more. You know, I believe in the human to human connection. So that's why on our support staff, we have actual humans who will hop on Zooms with you, who will get on there and be able to help you almost at a drop of a dime.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I can attest to that. They've been amazing. Just hop in my calendar and they're usually available later that day or tomorrow. It's not any kind of long wait. So yeah, man, you're making me feel small. I've only got agents in 4 countries and 22 of the United States. I got to step up my game.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's why we're partnering together. So that way we can grow together. And that way next time we're on here, I'll be saying 20 countries and he'll say 25. And I'm like, man, now I need to step up my game.
Challenge accepted.
There we go.
So cool. And you started out playing football in high school, won some awards, and you playing any football over the Thanksgiving holiday?
You know, that's actually a good question. I know my cousins are actually looking to play some basketball here later today, which I'm debating. But yeah, you know, we did play some football in high school, and it's actually a funny story. You know, I only played 1 year of high school football. So I only went out my senior year, and ended up, I guess I was pretty good at it. So I got all state and got some scholarships to go play in college. Only lasted 1 year in college for other reasons. But, you know, like for me, like that was something that I just, you know, I played it my whole life, but just stopped in high school for some reason.
Yeah.
But, was able to pick it up pretty well. But yeah, no Turkey Bowl scheduled yet, but I'm sure I might be getting some texts once I haven't dropped it that I'm back in Cleveland yet. So maybe now some people will see this. Like, you should go to Turkey Bowl. I'll be the ace up somebody's sleeve.
There you go. Well, tell us a little more detail on how you're changing lives. I mean, you're certainly changing my life. I appreciate you guys so much. And how can you pour into the agent audience that's listening and kind of set them up for 23? Best ways to build a brand that their clients are going to respond to in the new year. And we're in a bit of a different year right now, or different market, I should say, right now. Nothing we haven't faced before. In fact, it's not as bad as we faced back in 07, 08. It's just a little different.
You know, that's a great question, Tim, because, you know, I believe now more than ever, we have to decommoditize ourselves. Because I know I've seen a lot of groups where I see there's almost a shift of people thinking they can do better than a real estate agent, especially with online. Now there's tutorials, there's how-tos, there's YouTube channels, people telling people how to do things. I almost see real estate agent moving towards that direction where everyday consumers think they can sell their house, they can look for their own homes. But I believe it is the agent's responsibility to stir the community back. So here's what happens most of the time. Tim, there was about 5 years ago, I was getting drinks with a guy that worked at Zillow, and he was a little guy higher up on the marketing side. My goal is to get him to drink a little bit more, just so, you know, I can get some things out of him, and it worked. So Tim, here's what I figured out. So, you know, most people would ask, like, how are we helping Zillow the most? And everyone would say, oh, we're paying them for leads. He's like, no, but he's like, that's not it though, Tim. So here's the reality. Zillow's business model is you look up the home you want and you pick an agent out of a hat, right? So get this. As agents, we are training people to go to Zillow. And here's why. Most agents, when they just list a home, what do, Tim?
Take a picture of it.
Take a picture, put the specs of the home, and post it, just listed. And then 2 weeks later, without saying any of the work that the agent had to do to actually sell the home, they post another picture, just sold. And what do? Just post the specs of the home. We're literally training people that the most important part of the deal is the home. So if we keep posting pictures, just listed, just sold, just purchased, and only putting the specs of the home, we are training our audience that the home is the only most important part of the deal.
That's right.
Training people to go to Zillow and Realtor.com and all these places. Instead, here's what we need to do to decommoditize ourselves. Because if we keep doing that, we will continue to make people believe that we're a commodity. Because again, all that hard work that goes into being an agent is missed because we just post those pictures. Instead, every time you help somebody buy a home, this is one of the most impactful videos that you can shoot. Stand in front of the home, right? So you just stand in front of the home, you bring out the handy dandy camera, this right here, your phone, and you just let them know, This is such a powerful line, man. I'm telling you, if you guys do this video, you will attract clients, you will differentiate yourself, and you will decommoditize the real estate industry.
Yep.
Stand in
Get
front of
ready, folks. Here it is.
and then here's what you say, Tim. Hey guys, I just want you to know the reality of this situation. There are 3 other offers on this house. What that means is there were 3 other families who saw their kids playing in the backyard, who saw maybe their kids going to the school up the street, who saw their family going out to eat at this great restaurant right up here. They have a pool in the background, saw the summers of the kids and their friends coming over here. But only one family is moving in here. Guys, here's what I had to do as the real estate agent to make sure my family was the one that moved into this place. I had to stay up till midnight going back and forth on the offers. I was going back and forth with the lender and other people to make sure that our offers would go through. I made sure the inspector did this, this, and this. Why? Because I believe my family, this was the home that this family should be in. If you guys want to get into your dream home, you deserve to work with the agent who's going to work this hard, if not harder for you. I believe I'm that agent.
Love it.
How much more powerful is that than just bought and the specs of the home?
Yeah. Oh, that's golden.
And it's the same thing every time you sell a home. Stand in front of the home and tell people what you had to do to get top dollar for your family. If you don't, for sale by owners will forever think that it's as easy as posting a picture one week and selling it the next. Why? Because we are not telling them any different. It is up to us to show them what goes into being an expert agent. If we don't, nobody will.
Yeah. That's so good, brother.
Yeah.
I know you got more. Just rapid fire. I'm going to let you do you.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best ways to get started on that is, to really differentiate yourself is going out there and posting those videos. I think something else that gets lost too is just the one-to-one type of videos. So, a lot of times we talk about videos and social media as being the biggest way of like gaining new clients. I'll tell you what, one of the most effective ways to really get more conversations. And so Tim, when we were at the call center, we had a 25% increase in conversion when we started doing this. Not show up rate, conversion from appointment to actual listing set. And it was really simple because here's what we realized. A lot of times with online leads, even referrals or just like in-person, even dialing, what happens is, you speak to someone over the phone, they don't really know who you are. They might have even seen a video online or something else, but they really don't know who you are. So what would happen is, that like when they don't know who you are, they're kind of peeking out their window. They see Tim walking up like, is that Tim? I don't know. And you have to knock on the door and they're like, who is it? Tim. Tim who? The agent you spoke to like 10 minutes before. But like there's that whole not trust factor that comes into it. So when we started doing this small thing, man, I'll tell you what, the doors, we had this is a true story, Tim. We had people standing at their front door wide open with cookies waiting for our one realtor. They never met them before. It was a circle dial lead. They had the door open waiting with cookies. But here's what we would do every time we hung up the phone with people. We would take out our phone right here and shoot them a video message.
Yep.
Shoot them a video message. And it really does sound like, man, Nick, that's too easy. It really is that simple, guys. Because here's what you have to remember. They don't know who you are when you're walking up to that door. Even if they clicked on an ad, they clicked on a lead, you are a referral, they still don't really know who you are. So putting a face to the name is huge. But here's the other big thing that you do in this video message. I always say there are 2 things you do in every video message that make it important. The first is always say their first name right away in the video.
Yep.
Make sure they know that video is just for them. Because you think about it, real estate agents are normally compared to used car salesmen. Not really the best reputation within the industry.
Yeah.
Right? So all of a sudden, if you don't say their first name, you actually lose rapport because they'll think, oh, Tim, you shot this video for everybody. Everybody got this video. But the moment you say their first name is the moment they know that video was just for them. You instantly start gaining rapport, right? Here's the other thing. You never, ever, ever, ever watch the video before you send it.
Right.
Never watch the video before you send it. Because what will happen is you'll end up reshooting that video 10 to 15 times. And then you'll be like, Nick, I thought this was supposed to be simple. I'm like, well, did you watch the video? Yeah. And all of a sudden that 15-second video takes 15 minutes and then it doesn't become effective.
Right.
But I'm telling you guys, a video message before you go on an appointment, or here's another big one, a lead that you haven't been able to get a hold of in weeks and months. Sending them a personal video message. And even think about this, guys. Take some time during the holiday season, right now during Thanksgiving. Shoot personal video messages, just hoping people have a great Thanksgiving with their family. And if you guys need anything, just let me know. I just want to reach out. Don't even ask for business right now. Do not ask for business on this Thanksgiving. Send a personal video message to all the ages, to all the people that you're currently dealing with, past clients, current clients, leads and nurtures. Take time to send that personal video message, and I guarantee you that will instill some goodwill. That person you haven't been able to get in touch with for months will respond to it.
Yep.
Take time to do that.
That's so good. I learned that from you probably, I don't know, 6 to 8 months ago. And I can attest to that as well. It freaking works.
Yeah. My
no-shows and cancellations have gone down to almost nothing.
Yeah. Just by sending that personal video message before your appointments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary, thanks so much for just spending time on the phone with me. I'm appreciative that you gave me 3 o'clock tomorrow as a time slot. I'm so looking forward to seeing you and your lovely home.
Yeah.
And push send.
Yeah.
The agent that watches it, like you said, they're going to spend 15 minutes redoing it. And then they're never going to be happy with it. They're going to sit their phone down. They're not going to go back to it. And they're going to say, well, I can't do this.
Yeah. I think that's part of the own things is sometimes we have to get out of our own way with these videos. And, that's something where I really realized this. So, Tim, I don't know if you know this about us, but about 4 years ago, we started a nonprofit called Agents Against Child Trafficking. So it was actually, we were at a mastermind. And, man, if these women would have asked me to be a part of this before the mastermind, you know what I told them, Tim? I would have told them, you know what, that sounds too big. I don't know if I'm the right person for it,
Yeah.
But we attended this mastermind, and it was all these, like, some of the biggest people in real estate. It was literally the number one team in California or Florida. And actually, Al, one of my mentors, snuck me into it. So I was sitting there where there was about 30 people in this small room and me in the corner. But they were talking about having to cancel their Netflix subscriptions just to get by, having to live in their car for a week because they put an offer on this building that they really couldn't afford, so they had to sell some other things and live in their car for a week. But then the deal went through, and so these 2 women came up to me and asked me after, like, "Hey, so we have this whole process that's not only saves Kim, schools them, feeds them, and also brings them to the Lord after all of this." But we're actually going to have to shut it down because we just don't know how to spread it. We don't know how to keep getting more funding. And after we heard everything in the event, we're like, you know what? We can do it. And we ended up going over to Thailand, shot an entire documentary on it, came back, and now we're doing events. We just raised over $30,000 at an event here in Cleveland to send over them to save the kids, feed them, school them, and then bring them to the Lord as well. So that was one of the.
That's so awesome.
It really is. And, there are 2 things that came out of that for me, 2 really big things. The first, if I was not on video before that, those women would have never came up and asked me. Mm-hmm. That was the reason they came up and asked me, because they saw what we were doing on video. Right. And they were this close to giving up on it, not because they didn't believe in the cause. They just didn't know how to spread it or who to go to. Because of my videos, we're now saving those kids. There's still kids to this day being saved over there. But here's the other big one. What I really realized is, a lot of people in real estate or in business, if you don't shoot video, can your business survive? Yeah. You'll do maybe well enough for yourself and maybe your immediate family, maybe. But here's the future that I envision. I envision in the future, if some of those kids that I could have saved come out to me and say, "Hey, Nick, why weren't you able to save me?" I'll be like, Tim, I was too afraid to get on video. And it sounds silly, but it's the reality. Yeah. If I shoot more video, my business will grow. We all know this. If you're on video more, your business will grow. Who could we have saved if we weren't afraid to get on video? Mm-hmm. Who could we have helped? Family members in the future coming to us with medical bills that they're like, I don't even know if I can get this procedure. But you're like, you know what? I got my ass on video and I'm able to help.
Yeah.
So for me, I think bigger. I think 5 years down the road, I am scared to get on video still sometimes, Tim, but I am terrified of apologizing to loved ones and people I could have helped.
Yeah.
So for me, here's a great, one of the best strategies I tell people if they really want to get on video. I tell them, find a nonprofit or a charity that they really believe in. They really believe in, and follow it on social media. And I'm telling you, every time you're afraid to get on video, you'll end up scrolling, and that nonprofit or charity will just happen to pop up. You'll be like, dang, I could be helping these people. All right, I'll get on video. That's one of the biggest things that drives me sometimes, that when I don't want to get on video or do certain things, I'm like, there are kids and people I could be saving if I just got my butt out there a little bit more.
Right. What a great motivator.
Yeah. I think those
You're
are
just
some
on a roll today, man.
Yeah, you know, it's just I'm really passionate about this stuff. I really enjoy doing it and helping agents because, you know, I believe agents are pillars in the community, a lot of different communities, you know. So I think, you know, a lot of times it comes down to there's a saying that we have in a nonprofit too, but I believe it applies here. If not us, then who? In our different communities. If we don't bring good news to communities, the news won't do it. They don't pass good news. So somebody has to do it. Why not be the agents talking about great things happening, talking about community events? You know, that's something else that I recommend for agents to do. Interview people in your community, interview local businesses. If there's an event going on, like you were saying, like local, like if there's a turkey bowl going on in North Royalton, you bet your butt I'm going to be there shooting videos about it.
Yep. Yep, that's so cool. And you know, you and I are a lot alike. I'm so passionate about helping agents too, and it's all I do anymore. You know, I'm not actively selling personally. I will still deal with past clients and friends, family, and so forth. So I'm not out of the business. So don't read me wrong. But you know, I thought I was going to die several years ago. You know my story about my heart surgery, and I can remember how that felt. And I can remember thinking, you know what, I haven't left my mark on this world yet. And that hurt me. I knew my family would be okay, but they would be okay because of insurance policies, not because I've created wealth for them beyond insurance and a third or fourth or fifth stream of income that, you know, everybody says you need to have multiple streams of income. And that's why I'm at EXP. And I love just pouring into agents and showing them there is another way. You know, you can make money as many as 8 different ways at EXP instead of one way at most of the other brokerages. And that's how I spend my days. I'm doing things like this. I'm talking to agents. I talk to hundreds of agents every year. And on my tombstone one day, it said, Tim Holland helped 3,572 agents or whatever the number ends up being. Because I've shown them another way. I've shown them that they can create a residual income that'll pay their family after they're gone for generations. And that's what I'm passionate about.
And, you know, I think it's, I commend you for that, Tim, because I think it's also, we all have an idea of how we're going to do it, of generate multiple streams of income. My question for agents out there is, when is the time that you decide that you're going to finally do it? You know, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that are 20 years, and obviously you could tell I haven't been 20 years in the business quite yet, but, you know, that I talked to that are 20 years in the business, and, you know, they're like, you know what, I just thought one day I'd be able to retire. I never actually planned it. Or I thought that I would create these multiple streams of income, or I thought I would build out this rental portfolio. But here, you know, 20 years later, still having to buy, sell, and do all these things. They just wish they would have stumbled upon an opportunity like you talked about with EXP, with multiple streams of income. So, you know, I commend you for doing that, and not only bringing this to agents, but once they're involved, helping agents build out those multiple streams of income. Because you're not just changing your lives, you're changing the generations of their families' lives potentially as well.
Got goosebumps just thinking about it. I mean, I have agents literally calling me almost one a week saying, man, thank you so much for introducing me to EXP. It's changed my life. You know, my parents always had to rent a house, and now they own a home, and I helped them accomplish that. I mean, just story after story after story. I could talk for an hour just about that, but that feels good. And that's not what I felt laying in that hospital bed thinking I was going to die in that surgery 2 days later. And it's just all the things you just mentioned about, I could have done that. I should have done that. I wish I'd done this sooner. I wish I'd done more of this. Those were all those thoughts that I'm like, all right, if I make it through this, I'm going to figure out how to not be 80 years old, still unlocking doors for buyers as a real estate agent, because we don't know any different. We were taught because of our broker. Hey, good job, Nick. Good closing. Go out and get another one. Good job.
Here's a plaque. Great job.
Yeah. Here's a certificate, piece of paper. It's January 1, 0 again. Yep. What are you going to do this year for me, Nick? And so I don't know. We laugh about it, but it's the reality. I've been to too many realtor funerals. I've not been to ever a realtor retirement party, and that's sad. I'm changing that.
I love that. I love the mission. I love the goal. I asked you this last time. So Tim, have you came up with the number? How many agents are you going to help retire? Have you came up with that number yet? I know you're thinking about it.
I am. I'm afraid to set the bar too low.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. I'll get back to you.
I love it, man. I love it. I think that's something where I commend you for that, because I can't say too many people I talk to on their deathbed, but I've had other experiences where they say they're going to do something, but then when that situation passes, they go right back to their same habits. So I commend you for that, Tim, to be able to sit there and say, I haven't made enough of an impact, and consistently from that day on, be able to move towards how will I help more people make an impact? I know that's one of the reasons we partnered together, because you said I can be helping more people and I want to figure out a way to do it.
Yeah. No, it's the very first team member I put on my team, the Hollenden team in Louisville, Kentucky, passed away. He was about 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
And probably my 7th, 8th, or 9th team member stubbed his toe, fell, hit his head, brain aneurysm, gone. He didn't know when he was laying his head on his pillow that night that he wasn't going to wake up the next morning. I mean, it's, and I don't want to be morbid, but there's another way. There's a better way. And, I'm a co-founding member of this organization within EXP called the Freedom Team. And we're almost 3,000 agents strong. And so that number is going to be well over 3,000. I promise you that. It's probably going to be 30,000 plus. But, we believe in helping agents obtain freedom. Yeah. And I don't just mean financial freedom, because it's nothing to have all the money you could possibly spend and not have anybody to spend it with, or not have the time to go spend it, or can't go spend it where you want. So we're teaching agents how to be financially free, location free, and time free. That's true freedom, and by my definition, and that's what we're passionate about.
Well, if you think about it, I think that's why a lot of people got into real estate, because they wanted those 3 freedoms that you just talked about, but then they quickly realized that wasn't the case.
Right.
So and I think that's one amazing thing that I know about the Freedom Team, is really helping agents to treat the dream that they believe they could get into right when they get started real estate. Time freedom, money freedom, and space freedom, where you want to go and what you want to do.
Yep. And a little plug for Tim Hollenden and the Freedom Team right now. You come into my organization, you get access to this man right here. He's a freaking rock star, is he not? I can't wait to see the likes and the hearts and the comments that people are posting on social on this video. But you're truly a blessing to agents and humans alike. I appreciate all that you're doing for us. So
yeah,
how do you want to close it out? I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was just going to say, I love working with every member of the Freedom Team, and what you guys all believe for and what you stand for. And even more so, just the different types of leaders that people are able to plug into with the Freedom Team. Tim, you being one of the leaders of the organization, but I believe it was a great design of how there's the different types of leaders within the organization, because I believe that's what a true partnership is. People who are great at doing different things, not 5 people who are great at doing the same thing.
Exactly.
I think it's a great partnership of people who are great at different things, leading the way that other people are able to plug into.
Well, it's funny you say that. Since I was a young entrepreneur at the age of 18, when I started my first business, I said, you know what? The only way I'm going to be successful is to surround myself with people that are better than me. I didn't have an ego. That was okay. A lot of people say, oh, no, I don't want to compete with that. Yeah. But no, I mean, the leaders in the Freedom Team, I was a RE/MAX broker owner. Kathy was a broker owner for Keller Williams and worked at a 100% firm and understands why the EXP model is better than the 100% firm. And Jeff was the #1 team in Colorado Springs with him and his wife. And Eric's been a part of 300 transactions personally that he's done with real estate. And Sean has been nothing but, helping people build people and create huge organizations and pouring into one another through our collaboration core value. I mean, it's just huge. I mean, we all play kind of a different role. And, I'm the tech geek from my IT days, building spreadsheets and putting together technology plans. But no, it's really cool. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just so blessed to have met you and have you as my business partner at EXP and being part of everything that we're doing together. So,
yeah. So Tim, yes, I want to close it out. Well, here's what I want to say. I want to appreciate you for bringing me on here so I could add more value to the agents that are out there.
Thank you.
I think one of the things I love doing is adding value to agents. And I just want to let people know you literally cannot pay to get into my calendar anymore. But one of the ways you can get into it or just get more value from people like me is partnering with this guy, Tim, right here. Like I said, it's one of those things where we went exclusive because I want to be able to help the agents who are taking the right action and get into a better future. I truly believe in the Freedom Team and everything Tim does. So if you want access to more training or things that we do, reach out to Tim and he'll be able to get you some of that.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, Tim. I believe in the Freedom Team and I believe in Tim. So that's why I came on here today.
Awesome. Well, it means a lot that you made time for us, especially as you're traveling home, getting ready for the turkey tomorrow. So have a blessed holiday, and I look forward to seeing you next week, man.
Sounds good, Tim.
All right. Take care, brother.